Pan is dead. Super Saiyan 5 Gohan destroyed eyes, and now, in order to bring her back, the seal has to be broken on the Dragon Balls, and that means releasing all of the negative energy Goku gave up his body to fight 3 years ago, releasing a Shadow Dragon far stronger than Omega Shenron this time. After Gohan and Vegeta left with Kibito Kai to go train and become Super Saiyan 5s, Goten, and Trunks start their training together at the lookout. For the time being, Trunks says that he and Goten should continue recovering after the battle with Eyes, so can begin training on his own if he wants. And by the way, I didn't catch this previously, but it seems like neither of them lost that arm after they infused in the battle either. Goten really doesn't seem like he wants to rest, but Trunks tells him that he has a secret plan for their training, so no worries there. Not something to be shared now, however, he'll tell them all about it later. But as for right now, it's time to get to work. So, all three of the boys start their training, working harder than they've ever worked before, training night and day until they nearly pass out. Over on the planet of the Kais, Elder Kai begins his training with Gohan and Vegeta, telling them that they need to begin right away. To begin, we'll start by having both of you grow tails, he says. A tail, Vegeta gasps. Elder Kai tells him that with a tail, they'll be able to make full use of the Saiyan's hidden strength, so he whips out the old faithful pliers that he used on Goku and lets them know that they'll be getting their tails pulled out with these. He tells them that this is the same way that Goku grew his tail back, so if it worked for him, then both Vegeta and Gohan agree to take a chance in the same way. So first, Gohan, as Elder Kai and Kibito Kai grab onto his little nub with the pliers and begin an extremely painful process of pulling their tails out from nothing to full length. This is going to be a pretty long video, which is why it probably took me a couple of days to get this out. I don't know which day this is going to come out. Hopefully this weekend, because we're going to be covering chapters 4.5 through 5 of Dragon Ball AF. If you guys have been enjoying the content recently, consider leaving a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more Dragon Ball and comic content. But without further ado, let's hop right back into chapters 4.5 through chapters 5 of Dragon Ball AF. Two days have passed since Gohan and the others started training in preparation for unsealing Goku and the Dragon Balls, when all of a sudden, new opponents have now arrived on Earth. Out of a rift in the dimension, two demons emerge into Universe 7 who we've never seen before and who have never seen this part of reality either. So this is Earth. What a noisy place, one of them says as they listen to the hustle and bustle of a city below. Marble says as this is the first time he's ever heard sounds like this. He prepares an attack that kind of reminds me of something the Bojack gang would have pulled off and completely obliterates the town down below. And when I say obliterate, there is nothing left. No destroyed buildings, no debris, nothing. Just a perfectly symmetric crater in the ground. What a magnificent destructive power as usual, Chiyoko says to Marble, who finds a special kind of joy in bringing destruction to this new realm as he tells Chiyoko that they should make this place their new home. Immediately thanks to that attack, all of the Z-Fighters are alerted that a new threat has arrived on Earth. Even Gohan and Vegeta can feel this insane ki all the way on the planet of the Kais. This evil ki puts the boys on high alert, but since they're the only ones here, seems like things are up to them right now, so Goten, and Trunks leave right away to meet this new threat. Besides checking on the place of the attack right now, I don't really know what to do, Trunks says, but they have to do something before the damage to the planet extends and gets even worse. Over on the planet of the Kais, it seems like Kibito Kai actually knows who these guys are, as he calls him the king of the Makai or demon realm, Marble, saying that after Deborah's death, he's the demon who became king of the Makai. From what I saw, I can tell he possesses a strength several steps above Deborah. Recently, he was quite quiet, even in the Makai or demon realm. So why did he attack all of a sudden, Kibito Kai says. Maybe they should go back to Earth to help, but Vegeta isn't buying it. He says that they don't have to go. Against opponents of this level, the others should be more than enough. This is good training for them too, he goes on. Rather than having to rely on the two of them every time something happens, those guys have to learn to do something on their own. We'll stay here until we finish what we came here for, Vegeta says, with Elder Kai agreeing, saying that this is indeed a test. There are consequences to using your strength whenever the Earth is in danger. Gohan hesitates for a moment, but eventually he agrees with them and decides to stay, letting Oob, Goten, and Trunks handle this one themselves. Back on Earth, Marble and Shioko are preparing to continue the destruction, but before Marble is able to launch another attack, Trunks and the others finally catch them off guard in time to stop his next attack as they all land in front of the two of them. "I don't know who you are, but I'll never forgive those who damage my planet," Trunks says. These demons are a little different than ones we've seen before in the Dragon Ball franchise though, being uniquely obsessed with the sounds and telling the Z Fighters that they're not interested in anything they have to say, but if they want to interfere then they'll have to fight. So, simultaneously, Oob, Goten, and Trunks all power up, going full power and transforming into Super Saiyan 2s, getting ready for battle. These two demons, Marble and Shioko, appear out of nowhere from the demon realm looking to expand their home, but Goten and Trunks are now tasked with protecting the Earth and themselves along with Oob, with their first test of their training starting here. This showdown will decide just how far Oob, Goten, and Trunks have come since the end of GT. Trunks reminds them that they can't use the Dragon Ball, so they can't do anything reckless here. "We'll move this fight elsewhere," he says, as he and Goten in unison release a shockwave that sends their opponent soaring into the air far away from the destroyed city into an entirely different setting. They take their battle elsewhere while Oob is left with Shioko, who, while distracted, gets grabbed and thrown into the air as well, with two separate battles starting simultaneously. This was actually pretty smart by the boys to separate these two demons, as they have no idea what either of them are capable of, so making sure they can't work together is a priority. In a separate wasteland, Marble admits that he underestimated the boys, saying that perhaps he was a little too naive dealing with them initially. Anyway, time to get started and finally reveal who these two guys are. Both Goten and Trunks are taken aback at Marble's ki, as it sends chills down their spines. Goten saying that this is the first time he's ever felt a ki this unpleasant. It's far different than most opponents they faced before. Marble raises his arms as Goten and Trunks ready themselves, and he attacks, launching himself at both of them. Marble surprisingly seems to have no trouble handling both Super Saiyan 2 Goten and Trunks, putting them on the back foot, and he even begins catching them off guard, disappearing with incredible speed and then appearing behind Goten. He kicks Goten in the side of the head, nearly knocking him out before appearing beside Trunks next and crushing the side of his face with an elbow. Both of them are shaken but still conscious as Marble lands between them and sends a shockwave that sends them in opposite directions, similar to a move we saw Goku use on Planet Namek versus the Ginyu Force. Goten and Trunks are blown away as Marble readies his next attack. Goten and Trunks are already shaken up by this guy's speed, realizing that, as they are, it's kinda impossible to hit this guy even as Super Saiyan 2s. At this rate, their bodies will weaken. Marble says that he caught them, although there's no clear indication of exactly what he means, but all of a sudden, Goten and Trunks feel something constricting their movement. This is when they find themselves in some type of weird cubic fixture restricting their movement as Marble looks to end them with this next attack while they're vulnerable. He blasts them with a massive explosion that devastates the area around them and quite possibly them too, as the entire wasteland erupts in destruction. Over on the planet of the Kais, Gohan and Kabuto Kai are distraught as it looks like the boys may have been defeated, with even Vegeta getting angry that it looks like, as always, Goten and Trunks have neglected their training. Gohan begins to ask if they should maybe go back and help, but Vegeta stands firm in this being a wake-up call for them. Let them be. If they're worth anything, they'll figure it out and overcome this just as he, Gohan, and Goku always have before them. But to ease Gohan's nerves a little bit, he reminds them that they haven't gotten serious yet, so it's fine. Over in Oob's battle, things are going slightly better than with Marble and Goten and Trunks, as he continues to sling this demon around, with even Shioko stating that Oob is way stronger than he thought. Since things are going this way, I'll have to use that technique, he says. Oob charges at him again, but this is when Shioko seems to toss out an invisible attack that freezes Oob in his tracks, but that's not all. All of a sudden, Oob appears in some unknown space looking around in this empty void, when all of a sudden, a voice behind him speaks out saying, "It's been a while, Oob." He turns around, and it's Goku appearing in this different dimension seemingly, as Oob asks why he's here. Isn't he supposed to be sealed in the Dragon Balls? Goku replies that during these 3 years, the evil energy has been purged and released. But something is fishy here. Oob, nonetheless, is ecstatic to see his master again, as Goku tells him that he of course wants to fight just like the good old days, telling Oob to show him how strong he's gotten. Oob accepts, and the two begin their sparring match. In his base form, Goku and Oob actually look pretty evenly matched, with Oob even getting the best of Goku at certain points, landing a huge punch and kicking him across this void. When Goku rebounds, however, he does something very un-Goku-like in my opinion, and transforms into his strongest form right away, Super Saiyan 4. Goku takes things up another notch and begins charging a ×10 Kamehameha in order to truly test Oob, but while he's never sparred against Goku in this form, he's up for the challenge. Oob takes him on by preparing his own strongest attack as they begin to clash. This will define just how far Oob has come, or how far he still has to climb. They both fire their attacks as a massive beam clash creates an overwhelming explosion, but there's no clear winner yet. Oob tries his best to keep up with the primal Saiyan power of Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but in the end, Super Saiyan 4 is still just a bit too strong for him, and Goku eventually, after outputting a disgusting amount of energy, wins the beam clash. Goku reaches his hand out and helps his pupil up, admitting that no matter how much he's grown, he's still no match for Goku in this state, but Goku is still proud of him nonetheless, saying that they should do it again. Outside of his consciousness, however, it seems like Chiyoko put him in a state of hypnosis as Oob is caught repeating, "I can't win against Goku. I can't win against Goku," over and over again. Chiyoko states that Oob fell right into his genjutsu trap, a little bit of Naruto lore drop right there, and with just a little bit more abuse, he should easily win this. So while Oob is out of his mental, Chiyoko starts beating the helpless earthling who's just standing there disillusioned. In his mind, Oob is still battling against Goku, but on the outside, Chiyoko is collecting all of the energy he's losing because he thinks he can't defeat the opponent who's right in front of him. And in this one final attack, Oob is finished. Out of nowhere, however, Oob begins powering up to insane heights, still thinking he's fighting against Super Saiyan 4 Goku in his mind. He's not even conscious, but this is the most power we've ever seen him exert, as Chiyoko wonders where he's getting all this ki from. Instead of getting weaker, he's steadily becoming stronger. At this rate, it'll be dangerous to maintain the jutsu, so Chiyoko decides to cancel it, forcing Oob to quiet down, and when he releases it, Oob finally wakes up, albeit with a couple new scars and bruises he didn't have beforehand. When he wakes up, however, Oob begins to remember just what was going on before he was knocked out, and unfortunately for Chiyoko, he's seen firsthand the type of power Oob has, with Oob reminding him that he has no chance at winning against him. Oob starts to power up again just like he did when he was under hypnosis, but this guy Chiyoko immediately makes a break for it, knowing he can't beat Oob, and runs away from the battle. Oob tries to chase him down, but Chiyoko has another goal in mind now. He knows he can't defeat Oob one-on-one, so his new objective is to go fuse with Marble, who's relishing in the destruction he just subjected Goten and Trunks to. However, like Vegeta said before, Goten and Trunks haven't quite gotten serious yet. They emerge from the rubble and once again fuse into Gotenks, coming out immediately as a Super Saiyan 3. Marble is stunned at just how much their power skyrocketed here, and that other beings in this realm know of a fusion technique as well, as Gotenks tells him that he was just analyzing the situation until now. Now, the real game begins. "You surprised me," Marble goes on. "I never thought that there would be people knowing how to fuse on this planet," he says, with Gotenks saying that they need to finish this because they don't have much time. He charges at Marble with speeds many times faster than what they displayed before, fast enough to finally catch him off guard and send him flying across the battlefield. Marble launches him away with another kick. Gotenks, however, then locks him up in a galactic donuts volley, trapping him in his Ultra Boo volley attack. He tosses him into the air and then spikes the trap demon down into the ground, making an absolutely massive crater. Marble comes out of the crater angered at the embarrassment Gotenks just put him through, as even Gotenks is surprised that this guy is still kicking, saying he's certainly a tough one, tougher than they imagined at least. Well, Even you won't survive this one, Gotenks says as they start preparing their strongest attack. Marble thinks to himself that he didn't expect Gotenks to be this strong, but he still has a trick up his sleeve as well. All of a sudden, Chiyoko enters the scene, still running away from Oob, who is right behind him. Chiyoko brags that although they did pretty well, they can't win against the both of them together. Oob tells them there's no point in bluffing. They've already both been overpowered. But this is when Marble and Chiyoko show them their true power and what they've been really hiding up their sleeve. The two demons fuse together in a flash of blinding light that blinds Gotenks and Oob as they feel the frightening combined power of these two merging before us. This new form is far more terrifying than fighting the two of them separately, both physically and their ki. This is the demon's true form, as he says that he'll be delighted to show them the real difference between their strength now. He charges at Gotenks with speed even greater than what Marble showed prior and catches the fusion off guard with a devastating punch, and then Oob is stunned at their opponent's new speed as Gotenks is barely able to dodge the next attack, but Marble appears over him and sends him flying into the ground. His strength and speed are incredible, Oob says, shocked and frozen from the intensity of this new fused demon strength, but Gotenks still has one last trick up their sleeve. Over on the Supreme Kai's planet, Gohan and Vegeta are at their wits' end and finally decide that maybe they do need to go back to Earth and save the boys after this new fusion is proving a bit too strong for them, as Vegeta tells them it's time to go. However, this time, it's Kibito Kai telling them to just wait a little longer, because he senses that Gotenks is okay, and depending on what he does next, this could turn everything around, so they decide to have faith in the boys once more and watch for just a little longer. Out of the rubble, although slow, Gotenks gets back to his feet as Marble says that they may have made fun of them until they fused, but because they were much stronger than they anticipated, they had to go all out as well. I've slowly gotten bored of this fight, so let's put it into it. The real fun starts now, Marble says, but Gotenks looks oddly unbothered, cracking his fists and stretching his neck. In that case, we'll fight serious too, he says. Marble is a little confused on what they mean by that, but this is when Gotenks takes something out of his belt. He says that he wanted to use this against the evil shadow dragons, but it looks like they need it now. He takes a capsule out of his belt and reveals that he had the Bloodswave gun this entire time, tossing it to Oob and telling him to shoot them with the Bloodswaves immediately, as Marble watches confused but slightly amused as well. What the? Is that a small model of the Bloodswave generator? Gohan says, shocked, as Vegeta says that if they're trying to become Super Saiyan 4s, they better not fail, or else this whole thing is gonna be even more of a mess. Oob fires the machine at Gotenks and becomes a great ape, as Marble, Oob, Gohan, and Vegeta all watch in shock and amazement, waiting to see if they'll really pull it off. But just like Gohan, probably because of their human blood, it seems like Gotenks has an extremely easy time getting back under control as he reduces himself back to his humanoid form. As a red tail appears and the lining around their eyes indicate, when the smoke clears, the impossible just happened. Thanks to their planning and quick thinking, Super Saiyan 4 Gotenks, for the first time ever, is finally born. And this is absolutely amazing. Everyone is shocked to see that they actually did it. They pulled off the unthinkable. Gotenks actually became a Super Saiyan 4 damn near easier than Gohan at this point, as he says that this is their final trump card and now it's time to begin the final round. If you guys have been enjoying the Dragon Ball AF story, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more. But that is going to do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in Chapter 6.